Hey guys, what's Gump here? This is a brand new video today. I wasn't planning on doing it, but since I was feeling the mood to do something productive, I thought I may as well do this. I haven't done any of these React videos before to other people's content, but I did ask Sergeant Blair TV if it was okay, and he gave me the go. So thank you very much, sir. So the video we're gonna react to today, or what I'm gonna give my thoughts on, is Sergeant Blair TV's does Halo Infinite deserve a second chance? And I know this is a really hot debate amongst the Halo community and video game in general because of how we've seen in the past 4 years with Halo Infinite's development life cycle, the way Microsoft handled it, and the response it got post launch. And although it can be really resentful, just keep in mind that at the end of the day, it's just a video game. It's nothing too important or meaningful that's like the second coming of Christ, because even though I love Halo as much as anybody, I gotta give myself a break and respect my dignity that I have inside of me, that it's just a video game. I mean, that's what it is by the end of the day. It's not like your beloved parent or brother and sister or anything. But anyways, the reason why he made this video is because there's been a good discourse over the years since Halo Infinite's launch. And as of October 2nd, 2024, right now, the state of the game is really good. It's definitely improved upon from what it was at launch. 343 Industries has definitely gotten a lot of the feedback from the multiplayer beta to the multiplayer and everything, and then post launch and all that. And throughout like each year, they kept adding more stuff of what was missing. And so hopefully this will be a good example precedence for Microsoft and for the company to learn what they can do from now on with the new leadership taking over, since Frank O'Connor and everybody's gone. Anyway, I'm stalling too long, so let's get right into it. So as you can see, he's using the I forgot what the music was called, but it was used in the Halo Reach Believe trailer. Yeah, that's what it was basically. Oh, it's getting more cooler now. Just look at all the maps that have been added to matchmaking, and in total, it's just like so much. And then you got the sandwich at the end. That's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
The maps that I've just shown you, I've probably played hundreds, if not thousands of times. In fact, if we're going off Halo Infinite statistics, I just crossed my 6,000th game. And
Wow,
some people might find that
that's
crazy.
insane.
It's no secret that a lot of Halo fans aren't necessarily enjoying Infinite at the moment, and whilst I can understand, I really do think they're missing out. So in today's
Yeah, I do agree. Right now, with how everything is, with Firefight and Forge, like expanding tremendously, I think right now it's a good chance to get back into Halo Infinite or give it a second shot. As you can see, this is basically just the theme of the videos, second chances, and whether we as the fan base should or could. I shouldn't say should, because it would sound a little forceful, but could, because not everybody is in the right state of mind right now, because some people are still angry, and it's just, I don't know, it's just really frustrating with those kind of people. But anyway, yeah.
video, we're going to set out to answer the question, does Halo Infinite deserve a second chance? To really dive into a lot of Infinite's issues, we need to go back and talk about the launch of the game, or what was rather 343 stated as the multiplayer beta. Now I'm going to start off by saying I don't know if it was intentional to call it a beta, but for most people who have played Halo Infinite, they know that it wasn't a beta when it came out at launch.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was at launch November 15th, 2021. They released the multiplayer first as a beta before they added the campaign on December 8th. So officially, I think the game came out on November 15th, 2021 because it was a due date for the 20th anniversary of Halo, and they saw like a chance to say, yeah, you know what, let's just push it out anyway, because they did the same thing with MCC as well, and that was a little bit rough on the edge. But yeah, I don't think from my years recounting playing this game, I don't think it was necessarily a beta. I just remember at the time when I was playing it, I said these words, exact same words. I said, yeah, it needs work. That's it. That's the fence setting position I am most definitely in. And it's nothing of dissonance or hatred or anything. I wasn't happy or sad or mad. I was just like, you know what? I'm okay with this state, because it was during college years and 2021 was pretty rough, um, with the games and the weather here in Texas.
It was the full package, it was all the maps, all the modes, the battle pass, the lot. This led myself and many others to kind of think that the beta was just a little preview of the game and that the actual full game would come out with the campaign. That was definitely not the
Yeah,
case. The
like,
campaign had come out and it had come out to some pretty good reviews. However, the multiplayer
oh, bro, I loved the campaign. I think the campaign for Halo Infinite was definitely a really huge improvement from Halo 5. Although it has some flaws and some plot holes here and there, but to be honest, I'm not taking it for granted. I actually think it was pretty good. Um, I'd say when it launched, for those past like weeks and until Christmas, I definitely played a lot of the campaign, just replaying it over and over for just like 100%ing in. And even though I have 100% it, it's kind of nice to go back and just mess around, here and there. Um, that is until they had to add the ability to replay certain, or add the replayability option for missions, which I thought was kind of pretty strange. But you gotta keep in mind it's a open world Halo. This was the first time they ever did something like that.
portion of the game was still indeed lacking. In case you were wondering about the multiplayer offering, we had a total of 6 modes, 7 arena maps, and only 3 BTB maps.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. There was only like three BT maps as far as I remember. It was this map that he's playing on. It was High Power, which is that other one with the Covenant like cruiser in the distance, and then the last one was the sort of Forerunner architectures or whatever. But yeah, there definitely was few maps released day one, and over the years, I'd say like right now we have like somewhere between 7 to 8 BTB maps and a whole lot of arena ones. There's like 20 in total or 30. It's just like too much to count as far as I can tell.
You know what though? It's fine. I can wait 3 months for season 2. We'll just get our content then.
Oh yeah, that's right. Season two, yeah, because it started with season one, and then season two wasn't until May of 2022. And keep in mind, during May, I was about to graduate college, so this definitely was a good time for me to get out and then get back into Halo Infinite because I was pretty on and off with it like weekly, especially just grinding for those weekly challenges and all the other events. But yeah, as you can see, like here shortly, he's gonna like show how many days it took between each season, and they kept getting increasingly longer. And this wasn't really anybody's fault. I think it was just the roadmap wasn't there, and they really didn't know where to go from now on. So they had to keep figuring out like what dates or how long would it be for like each season to release for new people to keep coming back. At least it's not like I think typically a season in a video game these days goes for 3 months. So yeah, this is almost close to 3 months.
Okay, that wait stretched my patience a little bit, but I'm sure season 3 is right around the corner.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, same thing here with season 2. That was May of 2022, and then season 3 was March of 2023. So keep in mind, many people would argue that this is just inexcusable. It's not like very good for the patience in the mind. I would argue that you don't have to constantly playing this game every day. You just have to enjoy other games, just find other games like Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring came out in 2022. We played a lot of that like when it was happening, and that was really fun. I can't remember for 2023 what was going on at the time because it was so vivid and it's just like a blur in my head. But I think I was playing the new COD as well, and then other games like through Game Pass. So yeah, honestly, the takeaway here is don't play the game constantly every day. Find other games to play. When a new thing comes out, come back and refresh your mind because it really helps with the mentality and the energy of playing a live service game such as this when it was a little bit rough.
If it wasn't clear enough already, the lack of content basically drove away most of the player base, leaving only
Yeah,
the
he's not
dedicated
wrong.
Halo
Like,
players
I don't think a
behind.
lot of
The
people
rocky
really
post launch of
played
Halo
Halo Infinite,
Infinite pretty much
and
means
those
that
numbers
something needed
kind
to
of dwindled down
change,
for
and
each
it
season.
did. During the winter update, which essentially acted as Season 2.5, a lot of the key staff in 343 Industries either quit or they were fired.
Oh yeah, so this is a big, big shift in the life cycle of Halo Infinite up until today. So if nobody's aware, basically what happened was many of the old leadership at 343, like Frank O'Connor, Bonnie Ross here, and Kiki Wolfkill, they left because of so many PR disasters and moves that it probably caused a lot of great deal of stress and just anxiety for them, and they just had to like do something about it because it was a make or break. Like, are they gonna keep like being on this team for like the next 5 years or so? Like, what's gonna happen to them? And as you can see, um, it is kind of a shame for a human to feel that kind of pressure, especially just in their job position, because it's like a lot of suits and not really gaming appealing. But yeah, I honestly wish best for them to find future projects or just to live quietly in life and just give it a chance. I could say we were a little bit. I'd say a little bit at least harsh to these people. We were very harsh on them, like we were a scolding parent to their child. And I would say that's probably unfair because I don't think a gaming community should treat developers or high people like like inanimate objects or like lesser people, because it definitely creates a lot of dissonance and resentment between the community and the developers. And that's a major challenge in the gaming sphere today, is having to appeal and please your audience for as long as they can until the next thing. And it's just like a hellish job being a game developer. I do not wish that upon anybody.
Microsoft took it upon themselves to clean house because they didn't believe that Halo Infinite or 343 had met their expectations. This is pretty much the entire reason why I sometimes refer to 343 as old 343, and why I'm much more optimistic about the new leadership. You see,
Exactly. The thing people don't realize is when he talks about old 343, it's those three people I referenced before: Frank O'Connor, Bonnie Ross, Kiki Wolfkill. I don't think a lot of people really are in, are aware of like the formation and the foundation of this company, because it was formed in 2007, which is technically part of Bungie because that's when Bungie was in the Halo era at the time. And I don't think a lot of people realize that you can practically call these people Bungie members because they're part of the company. It's just like a sub branch off of it. And like, and people say that, oh, Bungie died a long time ago. I would say, yeah, I would say they probably died up until 2024 or 3 with the recent Bungie layoffs. So yeah, it's probably a shame to see like all those people that used to work on Halo like be let go or having to resign their positions in course and whatever. As for the new leadership, I am much I am much I agree with Sargent. I think that the new leadership under Pierre Heinz and whoever's in charge, I think they'll do an amazing job because this clean house definitely was needed and was due in time because of how everything was and like the expectations were met and Microsoft was looking at them. And keep in mind that it definitely probably was Microsoft's part of the end with their contract workings and like these like monthly contracts which are literally like unorthodox. Like who works at a company for like 3 to 6 months and then just leaves? Like I don't think that's a really good job if you ask me. I think that's just kind of ineffective practicing.
Ever since the new studio leadership has been instilled into the company, Halo Infinite has improved tenfold.
Yeah,
Community
definitely.
feedback has been listened to,
Yeah,
content drops are much more frequent, and 343 have actually announced that they're making new Halo projects. Now you'll notice
exactly.
as a
Yeah.
long-term viewer of the channel that I actually
Yeah, I can't remember when this was made, but I think there's a video last year or a couple of years ago where Sketch from he's the community manager. He said that the company was definitely working on a few projects, and people over the years have been speculating like what these projects are. What like was it the battle royale Tatanka one, or was it like as of recently was it like the CE remake, which we may or may not see that coming. Like we don't really don't know because gaming development now these days is gonna take a while. It used to be like 2 years, and now it's like 4 to 5, and it's just like a long wait, and the only way to compensate with that is just to keep distracting yourself, play other games or whatever. So yeah, definitely there has been a lot of feedback. There's been a lot of additions. So hopefully, with the three key figures gone, there may be a there can be a new shift in the general direction of the company and like the future of Halo.
do review each and every content update that's dropped so far. Whilst I definitely have to admit I'm a lot more optimistic about this game's future than a lot of people out there, most
Yeah,
people's thoughts have been mirroring my own when it comes to reviewing these operations. I think most of them have been really good recently and really impactful. And this kind of leads me on to why I made this video in the first place. Recently, I've noticed that a lot more people have been hopping into Halo Infinite for the first time, or they're returning to the game, and they're having a lot of fun with it. I know for a fact
yeah, exactly. Like with these operations and the feedback coming in, and there's going to be more game modes implemented, it definitely did bring a lot of people back into around, I want to say, season 4, season 5, and then they start doing operations. So right now things are really good like compared to what they were at like at launch day in 2022 and 2023, because I'd say they definitely really put a lot of effort into going on the field, and they're like, okay, what does the community want? What can we do to keep it steady? What can we do? Let's add in Firefight, let's add in Forge, let's add in like Forge main maps into the official matchmaking so we can like freshen it up and it's not like the same 5 maps you're playing over and over. And that's really a good thing for a gaming development company. I gotta give 343 some credit right there. That's definitely some parlor or power, yeah, some valor right there.
that a few people have messaged me now saying that I've basically gotten them back into Halo Infinite with some of these videos and with some of my streams,
Yeah, that's
which
really
is
good.
so awesome. It goes without saying. So, why should you, as a new or returning player, play Halo Infinite? Obviously, one of the points that I tried to drive home at the start of this video is the fact that old 343 had an inability to deliver content. And that's not really true
Yeah,
anymore. For those keeping up with
because basically the old leadership was more about appealing to a mainstream. They were more about, I guess, what you can say, profiticizing the franchise. They were much more catering to the shareholders and the people in suits rather than the fan base. And as much as a double standard it is for me to like turn the other cheek and just block out any negative noise, I can understand now where people are coming with this resentful attitude. And hopefully with this shift in 2023 and 2024, hopefully now it's gonna be a lot better and things are gonna go back the way. So I'd say for the past 14 years with Halo, even though it may seem like a little bit rough on the edge and conflicting, there can be some good things taken away from each entry and the progression that 343 has made.
With the game, you'll know that they've changed the seasonal model into an operational model, and what this essentially means is that every month we get a free mini battle pass which usually contains a set of armor. We also get a content drop, so for example, FleetCom had Headhunter and VIP, which a lot of people like, including myself.
Some
It leads to
party
the feeling
social
that
games
pretty
right
much
there.
you always have something to do in the game, and if you don't have to wait that long until the next content drop for you to get reeled back
Yeah,
in.
it's only like
It's
a
not all
month thing
sunshines
or
and
whatever.
rainbows though, admittedly, there are downsides with this system. The biggest one being for me, the fact that the Operation Pass is very quick to grind. Now, this might not be an actual downside for most people, but for someone who wants to hop on the game every day, the fact that I can pretty much finish my Operation Pass within a week, maybe even less, is not
Yeah, I can definitely agree. See the pros and cons with the operations because keep in mind it's a monthly thing, so you're expected to come back once a month, grind the 20 tier pass, and then once you're done with that, you're kind of like just left wondering like what else can I do? But it's really important to try to find a balancing between something that's grindable really fast and something that just takes a long time to grind. So let's compare an average battle pass or season pass, whatever you call it. So there's normally about 100 tiers, right? How long do you think somebody is going to take to grind it if they have a job or an occupation outside of gaming? It's probably going to take them like a few months, because they're going to be very grinding little. So let's compare that to something like a 20 tier rank. It's going to be beneficial for them, but on the downside, for someone who wants to get on daily, like Sergeant says, it definitely leaves a lot to the imagination and to the space of just wondering like what's going on. So yeah, I think they should balance the operations as feedback, making like the 50 tier pass like they did for the last season before we went into the operation system.
not good considering it's supposed to be a monthly ordeal. But for people who have less time on their hands, that actually might sound more ideal. So I think it is just a case of I'm terminally on Halo
He's getting
Infinite.
too
On the
bad.
subject
Nice.
of content as well
Nice.
so far, the variety of content has been amazing. Last week we got One Shot Slayer, which is very similar to One in the Chamber from Call of Duty,
Yeah.
and that's a fun little team party mode that you
Yeah.
can play. At the start of this operation, we got a new Firefight playlist that adds 4 new
Yeah,
maps
it was
into Firefight matchmaking,
themed, yeah.
alongside 2 returning maps that weren't previously in the playlist anyways. And then on the BTB side of things, we got BTB Sentry Defense, which is probably one of my favorite modes ever. For free-for-all
Yeah,
as
they
well,
definitely
we got
added a lot
Headhunter.
of,
And that pretty much leaves
game
only
modes
one
into
gap, which
matchmaking.
happens to be Infection. And given how it's October, well, let's just say I wouldn't be surprised to see an Infection refresh next Tuesday. Moving on to the customization side of things.
Yeah, like he said, with each operation there comes like a new game mode or two. They definitely have the right pace. They definitely have the right idea of adding like a new game mode into the matchmaking. And the good thing about matchmaking is they follow similar to the MCC matchmaking composer, where basically you can select your own game mode, what maps you want to play, and much less it'll take much less time finding the exact same um, map or more depending on what game mode you selected. So if you don't feel like playing ordinary firefight, that's okay. You can always choose Grunpocalypse and firefight. That's a good thing because it's like selecting your own meal or whatever. Same thing with multiplayer and arena. Like I think they definitely really innovated the matchmaking composer and like how it's implemented. I wish a lot of other games did this instead of just mixing and maxing it up with like game modes, and it's just been like a weird thing.
And if you haven't played Halo Infinite, you'll be pleasantly surprised to hear that we have all cross-core coatings now. The only exception to this is the domain
cross-core
framework
coatings
coating
have
on the
definitely
Chimera
made,
core, and also the front lines
customization
coating
even
on the
more.
Mirage core, which
Yeah.
is pretty much just Cadet Olive. The coating system was under a lot of scrutiny when Halo Infinite originally launched, and it still is now, as it replaces the primary, secondary, and tertiary color system. But despite what you think about the coating system, I'm pretty sure it's unanimous that this is just a huge dub all around, and people hopping in can reap the benefits of this. It would be silly for me to talk about cross-core and not talk about the fact that helmets and shoulder pieces and visors are now cross-core as well. These little quality of life
I would
features
say
are
the
really
only thing that leaves to the imagination is maybe they can make the chest core, and anything below, like the wrists, the legs, the belt waistline, cross core. But other than that, yeah, helmet and shoulders and visors are definitely a major customization for people to express their own Spartans and make them look as cool as whatever. Like there's like a lot of potentials to make your Spartan look incredibly really good compared to others.
helping give Halo Dripfinite its reputation, I must say. One thing I do have to mention is the Spartan Points system as well. For those who aren't acquainted, the Spartan Points system is basically a currency that you earn from playing the game that will go to any potential unlocks that you see fit. This can range from full-on armor pieces to just little tiny emblems. I do really like this system. I do think it needs some expanding for the old veteran players such as myself, but for more new and returning players, it's an absolutely great system to get you some quick earnable cosmetics. Overall, I do think Halo Infinite is worth having another chance. I think the game itself has a lot of content. It has a lot of things that you can go for as a new or returning player, even if you have missed previous seasons or previous battle.
Yeah, and I will give them the benefit of the doubt. I think it definitely is worth giving another shot if you missed out on everything, even if things aren't exactly what they were like 2001 and 2010. You got to give 343 credit. They've definitely like did not abandon this game like most other gaming publishers or gaming companies would. They stuck to the ground. They sorted this mess out, and that's something I really commendable on that. That's something I commend to anybody is when they go in there and they fix it. And even though it could have been what it was from launch, as many people would argue, I would say that's kind of less like a closed mindedness, because you got to keep in mind that the gaming industry right now is really rough, and the amount of content we can launch on day one is extremely trivial, because you may never know if it's going to be 50-50, if there's going to be a lot more to do versus like what it was as compared to a game at the near of its life cycle. I mean, COD has always struggled with this. Like Call of Duty, like every game that releases every year, like seems to like have more or less of the same content, and it's just it only takes them around like 5 to 6 seasons to get everything back into what it was. Before you know it, like the next COD is going to release. And honestly, I think they should just stop releasing annually and just do it as like a month, like a more than a few years, you know.
Passes, you can buy them, they never expire, which just gives you even more of a reason to sink your teeth into the game. Now, I will say, as with any game, it has its issues. For example, the store prices are a bit too high in my opinion, and updates could deal with some.
Honestly, this whole store argument that I've heard a lot in the community for the past 4 years, it shouldn't be a surprise. Again, I want to emphasize this. It's a free-to-play game. How else do you think that they're going to make their money back? Destiny went free to play, and guess what? The store prices for those cosmetics and ornaments are way insane than Halo Infinite's. Like it is absurd to like look at like these exotic ornaments and just see like you have to like give an arm and a leg just to buy them. But for Halo Infinite, like I honestly could care less, because it's just a shop and people are getting all fuss about just like the economy and inflation and all. But it shouldn't surprise me. So I don't know, at this point, like I don't really care, and I don't think anybody should have to keep arguing this anymore, because it's just getting tiresome.
Sandbox items such as new weapons, new vehicles, new equipment, but overall that doesn't take from what's already there, which is a really good and fleshed out and content rich game. So if you end up installing the game because of this video, you can find me in the BTB playlist. Right, with the main segment of the video wrapped up, let's talk about the community corner. In case you don't know what Community Corner is, I have a Discord.
So yeah, right here is just gonna go with the community quarter, like just showing cases, what other people have made, whether it's like artwork or customization or showcases. But yeah, honestly, I think this is a really good video. I think he definitely methodically deep thought this out, like from beginning to end, from November 15, 2021, the launch of Halo Infinite, to October 2nd of 2024. So currently, right now, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I think this will gain some traction and people will follow and like go back into the game, because I honestly believe that we as humans are definitely susceptible to giving games a second chance, whether they failed harshly. Because if you look at the like past 9 years or so with gaming, so many launches have come and go, and most of those games are either abandoned on day one, or they have some sort of like niche cult following, which is weird for a phenomenon. And I'm definitely part of the Infinite following, because I never gave up on this game. Even though there were moments where I was raging back then, I learned to talk to myself and solve my own problems. I think that's what everybody should do. I think first, we should solve each other's problems out, just get out of the way, and then we can focus on enjoying the game. So that could be like another debate, another can of worms I could go into. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I know this might be weird for me to do like a reaction video, and it's not very popular amongst the YouTube algorithm. But I thought I'd give Sergeant Blair TV a shout out. So if you like his video and his content, go give him a follow. He's really good at making these videos. Again, I got permission from him, so thank you on that. Other than that, if you guys like what you see, give it a like, comment on the video, and subscribe if you want to see any more videos like this in the future, or like any other Halo related stuff. Again, I've been like on and off with YouTube, and I haven't really been posting a lot of content. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys later. This has been Woodscamp, and peace.